Did you know that our favorite winter saint, Santa Claus, is actually based on more than one person? Pull up a chair and let's talk about Saint Nick. Saint Nicholas of Myra, which is in modern day Turkey, was a very real Christian bishop, remembered for his fierce generosity to women, children, and sailors. At this time, a lot of women couldn't get married unless the father had money to give to the young couple for them to survive their first few years of marriage. They called this a dowry. And if the father of the bride couldn't afford to pay for a dowry, then often the girls were forced to look for work or faced risks like exploitation. One of the best known stories about St. Nicholas, he comes to the aid of a father who is unable to provide dowries for his three daughters. Not knowing what else to do, the father throws himself on the bishop's mercy, begging for anything that he could do that could earn the money so that his daughters would have a decent life. So what does Nicholas do? He has 3 big bags of gold delivered to the father's residence to pay for his daughters' dowries, which ironically makes him very unpopular with the Roman magistrate. Nicholas is persecuted, captured, and imprisoned under Emperor Diocletian. He's eventually released and would go on to perform a couple of miracles. According to a medieval story, 3 children are murdered and hidden in a cauldron of brine. Supposedly, Nicholas, who would still be a bishop at this time, arrives on the scene and resurrects all 3 boys. And by the Middle Ages, he is now a saint, whose feast days are December 6th in the West and December 19th in many Eastern traditions. By the late medieval period, Nicholas is now a December visitor in parts of Europe, often paired with the Punisher figure, Krampus, who you can see kind of lurking in the corner there. Krampus, or Krampus, accompanies him on the night of December 5th, that's Krampusnacht, right before the feast day. And his job is to identify and remove naughty children from the festival. To the Dutch, he becomes Sinterklaas, and to the English, Father Christmas, who's 1 part Green Man, 1 part Wotan, and 3 parts Sinterklaas. In any case, Dutch and English transports to America would bring these traditions with them. In 1823, a poem is published in the Troy Sentinel called A Visit from St. Nicholas, solidifying our Christmas Eve chimney visiting gift giver into the figure we would all recognize as Santa Claus. During the Civil War, illustrator Thomas Nast publishes Santa Claus in Camp on the cover of Harper's Weekly on January 3, 1863. Finally, in 1931, Coca-Cola publishes an ad with the iconical Santa Claus that all of us recognize today, with his famous red suit, which harkens back to St. Nicholas's bishopric robes from the 4th century. So this Christmas, if anyone wants to know if Santa Claus is real, you get to tell them yes, in more ways than one.